And we're back with our Let's Play of Uru to Dunny. And last time we read all this lore on the great kings of Dunny and all that. Well, some were great, some were just mediocre. And now let's, you know, do some things. Explore a bit more, you know. Jump down here. This way is the path to that. Oh. In this direction we got that palace we just went to. In this direction, that bridge that's broken and has a bridge put up over it. Small world. Okay. Ooh, this is a fancy little cavern right here, it is. In this direction we got, I think that fancy building with the blue on it. Okay, let's not look down for us. Let's not look down, shall we? Just don't. Do not. Nope. Bad. A lot of caves here. It's almost like it's built. The city's built inside of a cave, you know. Another checkpoint for us. Can't access this building, unfortunately, but it's nice to know it's here. Alright. Push this button right here. We got the Palace Alcove, Dakota Alley, and the Continental Foyer we didn't went to. But we still got more linking tablets in Corral, so let's check those out real quick. Boop. Do I have to enter the code again? Like when I left the recording session, I had to enter the code again. Maybe it saved. Yeah, it saved. You had to use one of the linking tablets to do it. You know, I don't know. Coding stuff, you know. Alright, let's keep going around, I guess. Well, did I pass one already? I used this one, right? Yeah, this was the alleyway. Very nice view of that egg. I don't know what the egg stands for, but it's a very nice egg. Okay, big building, big building. And here's our link to it. I think it's some sort of library. You know what that means. More freaking lore. Ooh boy. Might as well. What's up here? Do these doors open? No, these doors are not open. Whoop. Whoop. You know, weird fact, in Uru Live, there'd be a linking tablet up here to a spot on Kadesh Shalisha, like the perimeter of the pyramid. But it's not here, so what can you do? Also, I'd even go up there. It's kind of like, what's the point? Oh, hold on, stuck in a corner. What else is around here? Well, there's a big old broken section of walkway. That's bad. Downstairs, maybe? Let's see. Yeah, we got doors. Real fake doors. Very triumphant music here. I like it. This place goes pretty deep. What else is here? Well, there's these journals, I guess. Also some more stuff and things. Yeah, okay. Journal time it is. Story time part 2. Let's go. Mayhem story. Pseudo. Wonder if Spelunks had any. Mr. Spelunks had any information on that. Well, technically it was Mr. Pseudo, and Spelunks was just Spelunks. I don't know. Story of Mayhem, taken from book 21D. Translation by Nick, first draft. And a dark sickness spread through the city, and sores broke out on the skin of those who the sickness touched. Might be better translated infected, but touch fits with this literary style. And some began to die. The sickness came from Yosefe, where the large trees grew and where the wood of Yemen was harvested. As it was there was great fear in the houses of all those who lived with Yemen close to them. And so great fear spread through the king's household, and through all those who worked in the halls of the guild, and those who looked over the city. Such fear overcame the minds of reason, and many began to flee the city and run to other places that were available to them. But King Mayhem was angry at those who ran, and was himself unafraid, literally not of fear. And so he called for the healer, Grandmaster Shemef, to come to his room. And though Shemef was preparing to flee, he obeyed his king and came to him quickly. Grandmaster Shemef, the king asked his healer, have you not read the histories of our people? Have you not been instructed of the ways of those who led your guild in the generations before you? Are you not aware of the plague that this place has already seen? My king, it is for those reasons that I am prepared to flee, for I know those who died and those who are unable to prevent it from taking hold of them. I know of this plague in detail. And the king answered, Depart. I have no time for you, Shemef. Depart to your own age, and do not return to this place again. May it be that my eyes never look upon your face again. And Shemef departed from King Mayhem, and he never saw him again. And King Mayhem called for Guildmaster Annam of the Guild of Healers. And though Annam was preparing to flee, he obeyed his king and came to him quickly. Guildmaster Annam, the king asked his healer, have you too not read the histories of our people? Have you not heard the ways of those who led your guild 3,000 years ago? My king, of course, it is for these reasons that I know what may happen to our people. It is for that reason that we must protect ourselves first, that we might protect those who trust us for protection. It is not how I would have thought. Depart with your master, and may I never see you again, King Mayhem ordered. And King Mayhem ordered for Guildmaster Raman of the Guild of Healers. And though Raman was preparing to flee, he obeyed his king and came to him quickly. Guildmaster Raman, the king asked his healer, tell me that you have read the histories of our people and been instructed in the ways of your guild. Tell me you have heard of the destruction of the sickness that overcame our people 3,000 years ago. Of course, my king. It is for these reasons that we must bring the ancient books to another age, so that we may study our records and learn the ways that we must fight. But to stay here will be to suicide. It is as I would have thought. Depart with your master, and may you never see the light of the lake again, King Maimon ordered. And King Maimon was greatly disturbed and troubled, and he stayed in his room for 4 nights. His servants brought food to him, but he refused to eat, and his servants brought advisors, but he refused to speak. And all those around him became worried even as more of the city became empty. And finally, King Maimon killed for guild captain Iram of the Guild of Healers. And Iram was studying in the guild, and he obeyed his king and came to him quickly. Guild captain Iram, the king asked his healer, tell me that you have read the histories of our people and been instructed in the ways of your guild. Tell me that not all of the knee is running in fear of a sickness that can be defeated. Of course, my king. It is for these reasons that I have not met with my class since I first heard of the sickness appearing in the district where the trees appear. I understand that our father, the honored guildmaster Jason, worked for 6 years even after the Book of Bereni was found. He worked day and night and stood by our people as he sought to save them from the sickness that even infected our king. It is for those reasons that I will not leave this place until this sickness is no longer in our city. Tell me whatever you need and it will be yours. You are most honored in this palace today, and Denis will be saved because of you. And King Maimon was filled with joy, and he ate from the food his servants brought him and spoke of the advisors who came to speak. As it was, Iram spent day and night without sleeping for 4 more days. And on the 5th day, the cure was found, and the sickness was deadly no longer. And King Maimon gave the Guild of Healers to Iram, and he was known as Grand Master from that day forward. Shemif, Adam, and Rahman were restricted from the Guild of Healers and never again allowed inside of it, or of the palace, or of any of the king's dwellings and structures. And King Maimon ordered the surveying of a new section of the city to be called Nawerl, and this section was to be away from the city, so that any sickness brought from the other worlds would not be brought to the heart of the city, but instead away from it. Excuse me. So that fear would not be spread again. And he ordered that the story of Grandmaster Iram be taught to all those who were instructed by the Guild of Healers from that day forward, so that none would forget the power of the knee and the great strength of their medicines and learning. Seems a good place to stop. I filled in a few words that I weren't sure about, but overall feel pretty good about this one. Indeed. Story number 2. Kedri's story. Story of Kedri, taken from book 42b, translation by Nick, first draft. Kedri loved his people, and the people of the knee loved their king. For Kedri did well in the eyes of Yavo, and sought to serve those whom he led. In the 48th year of his reign, Kedri roamed the streets of Agura, and was greatly disturbed. For even though all people, rich and poor, loved their king, Kedri saw that the entire island of Agura was filled with those who were prosperous and those who governed the knee. Where are my people? Kedri asked those who walked with him. All around you, they answered, pointing to the crowds that followed them. Yet I do not see my people here. I see masters of the guild, and I see owners of our stores, but I do not see those who have no option to join our guild, or those who have built the stores. Where are my people on this island? So the king called together his counselors and expressed his disappointments, and he ordered that a new place isn't right, but I have trouble with this word. Not the usual district word either, although it might be a better translation, or home, be built on the island, and the name of this place, should be Shamathen. He ordered that Shamathen be made available, not to those who did possess the wealth and stature of the elite, but to those who were not so fortunate. Still, they were his people, and the area was built, and Kedri was joyful to see his people live in such a place. Same word again. A short while later, after the area of Shamathen began to grow, Kedri was walking through the city, conversing with his people and telling them of his plans. And Kedri was led to the common library because he wanted to see the ages that he heard his people talk of. And again the king was disturbed when he asked his advisors, "Where are the books that the great Denis have written?" All around you," they answered, pointing to the rows of books that lined the shelves. "Yet I do not see the ages of our people here. I see ages that resembled failed school assignments for the students of writers. I see ages that not even those students would visit, much less a king. So I ask again, where are the great ages of the knee?" So the king returned to his palace and ordered his counselors to bring his most prized book, The Age of the Kings, written during the reign of his grandfather, to the common library so that the people of the Knee might see the skills of the great writers even as he had seen them. And the people loved their king more than they ever had before. So the king called his advisors and ordered them to add to the great temple, so that Yavo might be pleased and so all of the Knee could visit their god. Really, it's a form of Yavo again. I thought God made more sense, though. In his house, just as those of money, and inherited kind of money, were allowed to do. The king ordered them to add to the opera house so that all the Knee could hear the skills of the song of the people, just as those of money, and earned kind of money, were allowed to do. The king ordered them to add to the district of Bellari, so that the area started by King Rakari might not fall into disrepair, but be treated as all other areas of the city, and that all the Knee might live in prosperity, just as those of money, both earned and inherited, were allowed to do. And all of the Knee grew to love their king more than they had before. Some trouble spots there. Seems there are a few different kinds of money words, but need to keep with those, as well as the whole place thing. Well, you got inheritance, earnings, and just money in general. I think that helps with you. Like, that's the difference. Book 3. Mayerta Story. Story of Mayerta, taken from Book 28b, translation by Nick, first draft. In the time of Mayerta, in the 196th year of his reign, Jolathba, his mother, came to him in his bedroom. Now it was well known throughout the city of Mayerta and his craving, lust for women. And none knew his weakness of choice is more literal, more than his own mother. So it was that Jolathba brought her with her the woman Ramel, who worshipped the tree. Ramel's beauty was well known in the Knee, especially among those who worshipped the tree, and especially among the kings. Plural kings is here, though. I don't know why. Maybe implied the whole king's palace or history? Not sure. But as it was, though the king could have any object in the Knee, Ramel had been held from him by his mother until now, and she offered her son Ramel in exchange for her own purposes. But what are your purposes? The king asked. For do you think me so foolish as to give you anything you want for a mere woman? Of course not, my son, but as you know, you've watched Ramel from afar for many years. You have talked to your advisors and applied the ways in which you could make her yours. But you have been unable to look upon her so closely until this day that I have brought her to you. So do not think I am so foolish as to believe that this woman is a mere woman. You have spoken truthfully. In fact, as I gaze upon her now, I've never imagined her to be so beautiful. She is like a statue without flaw. But even so, do you think I would give you whatever you wish for even a woman such as this? Now, Jolaf was cunning, ? And Mayerta was eager, ? for Ramel. And every day Jolaffa brought the woman into the king's bedroom, and every day she offered her son to woman Ramel in exchange for her own purposes. And as the nights passed, Mayerta became unsatisfied with those who were already his. He became spiteful of those that came to his bedroom, for none compared to the woman Ramel, whom his mother continued to withhold from him. And finally he could resist his mother's arguments no longer. And Jolaffa came to his bedroom with the woman Ramel, and King Mayerta began to speak. The woman has ruined my life. There is none like her in all my ages, and you bring her to this room night after night. Those who I have found beautiful have faded in comparison to this one, and I can no longer find pleasure in them. Therefore, I am no longer satisfied with anything, and I will not be satisfied until this woman is mine. What is it yet you ask of me? Whatever it is, I will have my word. Very well, my son. I will talk to you tomorrow. And Jolaffa gave the woman Ramel of the worshippers of the tree to her son, and Ramel was King Mayerta's from that day forward. Oh boy. At the dawn of the next day, Jolaffa came to Mayerta while he was still sleeping and told him her purposes. The Guild of Writers has long had their rules, their restrictions, and their ancient oaths. But you realize, my son, that these words are old now, and no longer the ways of our people. Reenerf was responsible for them, and they are like a collar, ? Around our necks, growing ever tighter and preventing us from moving forward. It is time that we are freed. Even Mayerta was disturbed. But there are none who would agree to this. The oath is of stone. It cannot be altered and never has been. And that not only do you ask me to change the oath, but to contradict the things it says. And Jolaffa grew angry. Are you so foolish? Do you think I ask you to carry out the impossible? There is but one thing that must be changed. The one thing that will give us freedom. It is Ani who have created the art as we know it, not Yavo. Thus, since it is true, it is us who can determine the rules of the art, not the ancient religious writings. They will view it as blasphemy, the king responded. But I will do as you say. And so King Maerta spoke to the Guild of Writers. His words were well crafted, often from his mother, and his arguments strong, for they too Jolaffa gave him. And his effort was great, for there was no other woman besides Ramel, and it was that woman that he lived for. However, though many in the Guild of Writers were easily convinced by the sharp words of the king, there was one who was not. Grandmaster Tramal was old in age and wise beyond even his years. And his decision was odd. The word is a certain kind of stone that was considered to be the most hard and immovable, and he would not be moved. Never will we change what Ailish has written in the oaths. Never will we change what we have spoken for generations. Never will we allow a crack to be opened on the great wall of our guild. For it is tyranny that you seek. But it is tyranny, not the reason we exist. For Termal could see the plans of Jolaffa even in the words of the king. And Termal knew that if the ancient religious writings did not determine their fate, the hearts of men would rule, and there would be nothing to stop Jolaffa from having her way. And so for 3 days Termal stood to the words of the king. For 3 days the king would return to his palace and receive new words from his mother. For 3 days the anger of Jolaffa burned against Termal and grew stronger. And so it was that on the 4th day, when the king was no longer welcome to the guild, Grandmaster Termal was found hanging from a tree, his body covered in blood. He figured the news would be enough, but no. The king was sad when he heard the news, for he held no bitterness in his heart toward Termal. But when Jolaffa ordered the news, she was overjoyed and ordered the king to the Guild of Riders to change the oath and carry out her own purposes. But as it was, the death of Termal had breathed boldness into the guild, and in unison they denounced the wicked evil that had killed their Grand Master, and vowed that the oaths of their guild would never be changed, and that there would be no discussions. Wrong version of there. So Jolaffa devised other plans, but she knew that even she could not change such determined. Same words used above, the Arrogant Stone, guildsman. And King Maerta lived with Ramel as he was satisfied to follow those who visited his room again. Even as he was filled with pleasure, Jolaffa plotted evil, and the city in which he lived grew weak. Probably ready for a Dr. Watson review. Yeah, I'd say wrong version of there. That's a big one. But anyways, we'll be back next time, I suppose. Oh, sorry, I forgot.